got to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. It's Friday. It's Open Line Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Friday. It is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
I think we really need to make it clear that there are privileges associated with being an American, that if you wish to have these privileges, you need to get vaccinated. The reason isn't so much that we need to keep our train travel and plane travel even safer. They are pretty safe. Although I definitely think that having a vaccine requirement would make it even safer. Travel and having the right to travel interstate, it's not a constitutional right as far as I know. If you want to stay unvaccinated, that's your choice. But if you want to travel, you better go get that vaccine.
Amazing.
I'm putting this on the bully list.
A Chinaman, a communist, a socialist, pushing that in America, and she's allowed to do it. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. That's amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. There is an invasion going on in America right now. While you're fighting one another, while the blacks are attacking the whites and robbing and raping and stealing and killing, and the whites are afraid, while you're fighting over the vaccine, at our borders, there are people coming in from nearly every country around the world through the back door, invited by our government, and they don't want you to know it. They're turning our country into a mess. While you're fighting one another, you're reporting the unvaccinated compared to the vaccinated. You've been set up. You're being played. You're being distracted from the real deal. Breitbart is reporting that. Here's the footage. This is from Breitbart. Footage shows the unfolding situation under the Del Rio International Bridge in Texas as a growing group of Haitian, y'all getting more blacks in this country, and blacks don't like white people. Blacks don't like America. Blacks are not of God. Not all, but most. But there are a whole bunch of them coming in from Haiti. While y'all fighting, they're coming in. And there's an estimated 10,000 of them under this bridge in Texas. Watch this. They're coming in like this at the beach. You see? If that doesn't frighten you, I just don't know what else will. And you think the blacks in America don't like you, and they don't, because black people hate all people. Not all black people, most hate all people. Wait till those get here. They coming from a hellhole country, as the Great White Hope would say, a S-hole country. And they're bringing in S-hole values. And they have no love. And if you doubt me, look at Haiti. Look at Haiti. What do you think going to happen when they get here? And they're already here. They're at the border. They're in Texas. While y'all running to Texas, those are Democratic voters coming in right there. And the Democrats have you distracted. You're fighting over the vaccine, meaning that the so-called vaccinated folks are fighting the non-vaccinated people, unvaccinated people, while they're like bringing them in. And they don't want you to know about it, the government. The Times is reporting that the Epoch Times is reporting that the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has imposed a no-fly zone for unmanned aircraft system flying over a South Texas bridge after photos emerged showing thousands of illegal, they say immigrant, but I say aliens, accumulating under it in recent days. So photos have started to get out, according to this report, of all these people under this bridge in Texas, these illegal aliens. And so all of a sudden the government said, what the? Why y'all think y'all showing this to the American people? We don't want them to know this. We want them fighting over racism. We want them fighting over slavery. We don't want them to know they've been set up. They're being set up. So they cut, and I saw this yesterday on Fox News as well, where Tucker Carlson, one of the reporters was talking to Tucker, and he reported that the government told them y'all can't be using this thing over the aircraft over, it's a no-fly zone now. Y'all taking too many pictures, making too many Americans aware. So they cut it out. We'll see what happened today, but they stopped it. It's amazing to me that these people in our government have such big egos that they don't care about the people, they care about themselves. They want voters. And so they're letting the illegals come in and suck the life out of our social system in order to use them as voters that the Democratic Party might stay in power, whatever that means. And Breitbart is also reporting that the Congressional Black Caucus, one of the evil organizations in this country, right, just wicked. Well, according to a Breitbart report, the Congressional Black Caucus is divided in their support for the Democrat proposed amnesty bill. The 2-to-1 split spotlights the unpopularity of the proposed amnesty among blacks, despite top-level pressure by Democrat leaders. Some black people don't want this because these people ended up in the so-called black community, and all hell is breaking loose. A battle between good and evil, right versus wrong. Gerald is a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Gerald, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing today?
All is well, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
No man is good. All is well.
All is well.
Only God is good.
Got you. I agree. I just wanted to get your opinion on something that's been weighing heavily on me here lately. And that is basically, where is the line between what we're taught in Romans about, submitting to the government and, what we currently have going on within our own government. So as a Christian, where is the line between going along with it and then doing something about it?
That's the thin line between love and hate. When it's about obeying the government, it doesn't mean go along with everything the government is about. It means pay your taxes, don't run the stoplight, that kind of thing. But it doesn't mean to go along with all these laws that they're passing to enslave the Christians, to stop the Christians. And so just regular stuff, but not all things.
Right. Well, how do you know the difference, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
But do you know the difference between paying your taxes and not agreeing with so-called same-sex marriage?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's how you can tell. You can tell the regular stuff, which taxes are bad, too. I'm not 100% in favor of taxes, to be honest. But those kinds of things. The difference between voting to take any mention of God out of the schools and replacing it with Allahu Akbar and all that kind of crap. When you're born of God, you're going to have common sense. And common sense is the nature of God. And it will guide you in those things that the government are doing that is okay. Give Caesar what Caesar's belongs to him. But then there's some things you're just ridiculous, and you'll be able to see it in common sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and those things are kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Right.
And I guess there comes a point too where when these things are being forced upon people, and we know they're not of the Father, as Christians, what do we, or what can we do about it without, doing unchristian-like things? You can say no to them, push back by saying no, and if they insist on doing these things anyway, vote them out, and vote in men that will stand up and protect, and work for the people instead of against them. And that makes sense for now. So what happens in 10 or 20 years when voting doesn't work anymore, or they've rigged the system to where you can't operate within it and get this change to happen?
And where is the 10 or 20 years?
We don't know, right?
And why would you be thinking about 10 or 20 years when it doesn't exist? Take care of today and let tomorrow take care of itself.
I mean, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. It's just something, especially with my kids and everything. I worry about their future and their kids' future. As Christians in this nation. But
if you took care of today and not worry about tomorrow, your kids would be fine too. Because as the Father is guiding you and protecting you, you will guide and protect your children. But if you do nothing but sit and think about tomorrow or allow these things to just happen, then your kids will be enslaved, and so will you.
Well, I agree with you,
yeah.
And that's why I ask all these questions, because I don't want that to happen.
Right.
And as a Christian and as an American, I would do anything not only for my kids but for all the kids in America to not have to, suffer that fate. So.
And why would you do anything for all the kids?
As a Christian, that's part of loving my neighbor is not wanting, especially other Christians, right? Not wanting them to, suffer under the boot of government.
But a lot of kids coming from wicked parents, and so those kids are wicked. You have mothers now, Christians and non-Christians alike, who refuse to stay home and raise the man children. and they'll rather be out having their egos make them think that they're like men, and the kids are suffering and they're becoming evil like their parents. Would you want to save those kids?
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, every life is worth saving, but can you do it is a different question altogether. In our extended
Why do you
family,
say every life is worth saving?
Well, Jesus offers the gift of eternal life for all who would follow him.
Right, but
right?
if all don't, he'll just let them suffer and die. And if they were worth saving, he would make sure they would be saved. But they're not worth saving because they would not accept it. Satan is their daddy. And so if you go and save those children who belong to Satan, they're going to end up destroying your children in the end.
Yeah, and I can agree with you to the point. And for example, in my extended family, me and my wife and our kids, we're the only Christians. And so we see how, nieces, nephews, cousins are being raised.
Yeah.
And we feel a duty to say things to their parents and to try to help the children be raised in a better manner. I mean, is that overstepping or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Really, those kids that you're trying to step in and save will end up destroying you because they're just like their parents. They're not getting love from the parents. They need it from the parents. I can understand maybe you speaking to some parents and telling, hey, you need to return to the Father. But
right.
If they don't, and you and your wife try to save everybody, it's just all ego, but you end up being destroyed.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. So I got you. I see what you're saying. It's just what is there in the family is just a example of what's going on in America in general.
Absolutely.
It's it's a shame. It's a mess.
It's a mess. But but if men were to return to the Father, this mess would end overnight because their hearts would be made from stone to love, and love is greater than evil. It can defeat evil, but it needs to work through the men.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. And one of the reasons I was inspired to call you today is because the question that I asked, has been brought to me by other men who are exploring coming to the Father. And, I just was looking for your opinion to help guide them to the Father so they can be saved and their families can be saved.
Well, tell them they must be born of the Father, and they have to get to know themselves. They will see that they resent the mothers, and that's why they're they're subject to the women, because Satan is the woman's god and the woman is the man's god due to the fall. And so the man must be born of the Father. He must return to the Father. Then he will be given the light to guide him to bring the women back to order. Do your wife work?
Yes, she does.
You have children?
Yes, I have 2 boys.
Why do you how old are the boys?
13 and 10.
Why do you let her work when she need to be home watching over your children?
Good question. So my wife did not always work. There was a period of time in my life where I was way worse than a beta, and I could not provide for the family. So she had to step in. Now, things in our life have changed.
Are you able to provide now?
I am.
So why not make her stop working and be home with your sons?
Well, it's honestly it's a financial thing, right? And we have had this discussion, especially since I've been watching your show over the last 6 to 8 months. We've had that discussion, and we kind of, after I got my life straightened out and came to the Father, and we took on financial burdens, and that put us in a position where it would be difficult for her to not work now.
And so why not cut back? Because and I was thinking about this morning because I see a lot of these women out there in the news, casters and things like that, and their kids are suffering. The man's kids are suffering. Why not cut back and do it less? Because it's more important to raise decent children than it is to try to let the wife work just to pay off a bill. There are so many ways you can get the bill paid off. Call the company, make a different arrangement about the bills. But things in America need to change by raising decent children.
Yes, sir. I agree with you 100%. And, it's like I said, we've been talking about, we just have not quite figured it out yet. We see what's going on in the schools and, even within the church, right? We bounced around churches until we finally found a church home late last year. And, the writing is on the wall, and we want to be part of that change. We just haven't got to that point to how are we going to do it. But it is definitely at the forefront of our priorities.
Do you, so your wife, if you were to say to your wife, you know what, I got this. I'll work two jobs. And because if you work two jobs, you can get those bills paid. And
yes.
Are your kids in a public school as well?
Yes, unfortunately.
What the?
Yeah, and we've got
Where's
good
your
friends
love, man? You out there trying to help other children. Yours are suffering.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
why not work two
right.
jobs and make your wife stay home and so she can homeschool them or something?
Yeah, I have my career is challenging and trying to work a second job I don't work a 9 to 5. I work on commercial equipment. I'm on call constantly. My hours vary. Sometimes I work overnight. Sometimes I work, 3 days in a row without sleep. It can get crazy at times. So
ask for a raise or something. Ask for a raise.
Chances are, I won't be with this company for too long. So, I feel the Father working in my life, with this potential mandate thing coming on. We did make the decision that, I wasn't going to abide to that. So doors may be opening for these things to fall in place for us. I can feel those things happening, leading me. You know what I mean? I can just feel those, being led in these directions. So,
have you been born of the Father?
Yes, sir, I have.
And how do you know that?
I know that because I moved from the realm of faith into the realm of experience.
What does that mean?
I had an event happen in my life a few years ago where I feel God directly interceded into literally saving my life. And since then, I've completely given my life to Him.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Oh, no, and I think about this a lot too, Jesse. Well, it's
how
a complicated
are you going to enter into
situation.
the kingdom of heaven with an unforgiving heart?
Well, it's not that I haven't forgiven her in my heart, but I just haven't done it personally.
Did God say forgive her in your heart, or did He say go and forgive?
Well, that's complicated, Jesse, because I don't actually know my mother or have any kind of contact with her.
You don't know who she is?
Well, I know who she is. I know her name, but I don't have any experience or knowledge of her. She abandoned me and my sister when we were a couple years old, and then my father did the same, and my grandparents raised us. So it's a little complicated, and I've been feeling that on my heart too. Like, do I need to physically go find her and forgive her?
Yes.
So you're suggesting I go and find her?
Yes.
Okay.
Because God said before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, go and forgive, and I will forgive you. Then He'll draw you in, because until you overcome that anger of the heart, that anger is the nature of Satan. And until you overcome that, you will not enter into the kingdom.
Yeah, and I don't really have any anger, you know. And listen, the path and the life I lived before, I definitely did in the past. But I got to a point, you know, after I came back to the Father where I realized her not being in my life was a blessing from Him, right? He meant and willed for that to happen. And so my grandparents raised me Christian, you know, with you know, traditional values and everything like that.
But
and
you can have all that, but if you have no love, you have nothing.
Right.
You can say those words and you can be with these Christian parents that raise you with the traditional values, but if your heart has not changed from anger to love, you have nothing. You just have a fake relationship with God. You know, oh, He made me feel good. He sent me $1,000, or He did this, right? And that's not real. That's why you can't control your wife right now. That's why the kids are in public schools. That's why you're struggling, because you have not returned to the Father. The Father take care of His own.
Oh, yeah, and He's definitely taking care of me.
Well, go and forgive your mother, man. What the... When you say she abandoned you, what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, so, you know, we, when I was 2 to 3 years old, the police found me wandering the streets by myself. And, apparently, you know, I don't know details, right? Because, you know, I have never talked to her directly, but from what my grandparents told me, you know, she, you know, had mental health and, you know, alcohol problems. And so she
hated her mother, huh?
Probably, yeah. You know, like, I know nothing about that side of the family, so I can't say for sure. But you're probably right. I mean, given that she was willing to leave her 2 kids at home by themselves, and I ended up walking the streets. But yeah. And
don't believe anything. Maybe you walk the street, but whatever her parents are saying about her, especially the mother, don't believe her. Have a wait and see.
It was my father's parents. I don't know anybody on my mother's side of the family.
Don't even believe them either. Have a wait and see. Never, ever believe anything about anyone until you find out for yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
Because people don't tell the truth, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, and you know, whatever the reason was, she wasn't, you know, ever a part of my life as long as I can remember.
That's why now that you're an adult, you need to find her and find out why. And your father. Your father still living?
I mean, I guess you can call it that.
What does that mean?
You know, yeah, my father is still living. You know, he hasn't, you know, he just lives alone and, you know, doesn't really have anything to do with me or my sister.
Have you gone and forgiven him?
I have. I did forgive him a couple years ago.
You went to him?
Yes.
And you told him that?
I did.
So now you love him?
I do love him. I do love him, and, you know, I can't pretend to understand what he was going through in his life to make the decisions he made.
Why don't you ask him?
Well, and I didn't really want to know, to be honest with you. You know,
if you love him, you would want to know.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I was just angry over, you know, the decisions he made to, you know, go and raise another family and left me and my sister with my grandparents. I was angry over that for a long time.
I totally understand it. Hold on for me, man. Gerald, if you can. Hold on. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, I'll finish up with Gerald and move more calls, your Super Chats, and your D-Live posts. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. All right, folks, welcome back. I want to go quickly back to Gerald, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. So, Gerald, you went and forgave your father for marrying this other woman and having children with her and leaving you and your sister behind?
Yeah, and I was thinking while you were on break there, I was thinking that I said those words, but I probably didn't really, truly forgive him.
Yep. Just because I said it doesn't mean I meant it. You need to go to your father, Gerald, because you're going to end up in the same situation if you don't.
Yeah, and I was just reflecting on that, and I think you're right. I need to go back to him and do it right this time.
Yep.
And
ask him why did he leave you and your sister for another family? So you can get some understanding of the father, and your life will become amazing. Then God will make it in an amazing way for you to protect your family, your wife and your children. Your wife would be home. Your kids would be homeschooled. Things would work out. You wouldn't be struggling.
So I need to go talk to my father, and then you say I need to also find my mother and forgive her too.
If it's possible, absolutely. Hey, Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. Why did you leave me? I was told you left me on the streets. What happened? Don't go there yelling and stuff, but just, hey, what happened?
Yeah.
And you would get an understanding about her situation, and that would cause you to forgive her, and your mind would be blown. God would draw you into the kingdom of heaven, and your life would change because he would change your heart of stone to love.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan, Jesse.
So go to your father and ask what happened. Why did you leave us? Is it true that you left us? Why? And then the understanding will bring on the change, the forgiveness.
Makes sense. I'll do that, Jesse. I'll let you know how it goes.
Are you doing the silent prayer? Or do you do the hoop and holler one?
I don't do that one either. I do pray, but I have, I hear you talk about your silent prayer all the time, but I have not, I haven't looked it up yet.
The silent prayer video.
Yeah. I need to go do that. I'll check that out tonight and, try to work that in with, everything else.
And when you pray, how do you pray? For now, how do you pray?
I just sit in silence and, pray, thank God for the things he's blessed me with, and ask him to, give me wisdom more than anything is what I ask for.
Well, if you sit still and let go, he will. It'll blow your mind, but you must forgive, and he will give you wisdom, and it will come, and it's mind-blowing once you receive it.
Thank you, Jesse.
So go to www.silentprayer.video. Go and forgive your parents. Find out what happened so it will cause you to forgive. And God will draw you into the kingdom. And the light, which is God's nature, the love that will guide you. And then you can save your family from hell.
Okay, Jesse. I appreciate it.
Let me know how it goes, Gerald. Was this information helpful?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Well, let me know how it goes, all right? And don't let your wife or Satan or anyone talk you out of going and forgiving.
No, I'm going to make that phone call to set up a meeting today.
Are
That's
you the
my word.
head of your wife?
I am.
Does she obey you?
She does.
So are you white, Gerald?
I am.
Is your wife white?
Yes.
Oh, good. We need, and so the babies.
Yeah, to be honest. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, be honest. What?
I was going to say, be honest. Your show has helped rein her in a little bit. To be honest, so I thank you for that.
You're welcome. Well, then, once you go and forgive, the love of your heart, which is the nature of God, will bring her all the way in.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. I'm still a work in progress and that I've made progress, but I'm not quite there yet. And I appreciate you for kind of pointing that out to me today, Jesse.
Absolutely. And we need some more white babies, all right? So get busy.
Hey, we've been thinking about it. We ain't as young as we used to be when we had the first two, but we've been thinking about it. So duly noted.
Right on. I wish you well, man.
Wish you well, too. Thanks, Jesse.
All right. Call me again.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Howard is out of North Carolina. Howard, get it off your chest. You're on the air.
Oh, Jesse, you doing okay this morning?
I am all as well. A little louder for me, Howard.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you was talking to Chris and James yesterday. I got to watch it yesterday evening a little bit because I've been back to working the salon a lot of hours now.
Right on.
Yeah, and about somebody offending you.
Oh yeah. So Howard,
and you forget, and you.
If I offend you, do I owe you an apology or you owe me one?
I owe you one.
And why do you say that?
Because it happened to me here at work. A woman and a man, they offended me. It offended me a little bit. And I overreacted just a tad, and I caught myself. And I thought to myself, I owe them an apology. And I wouldn't apologize. I didn't say I'm sorry. I apologized for overreacting. And to hear you say that was amazing.
Amazing.
That was amazing.
Nice, Howard. And the reason that occurred to me yesterday or the day before now at home, I realized, wow, so many people are offended by things, and they claim to be of God. They claim to be of love. And I realized that if someone can offend you, that is proof that you're not of God. That because in Him there is no way that you could be offended because of perfect love. And so if you don't have that ego, there's no way that anyone can offend you. So if they offend you, that means that you hate them, and you need to repent for hating them.
So me realizing that and apologizing, I hope that was from God. I can't see it from anybody else.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Good for you, man. What the?
I know. When you said that yesterday, when I was asking Chris and James that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, several people that I counsel with and that go to my church, and they claim to be sincere, they claim to love one another, but as soon as something goes not the way that they think it should go, they become enemies just like that. I'm like, what the?
Like I say, I didn't think about you or anything. That just popped my mind. I guess I hope God put it there.
Absolutely.
You overreacted. You need to go apologize to them. I didn't overact real bad. I caught myself.
Just a tap. Just a tad.
Yeah,
a tad.
Do what?
Just a tad.
Yeah, and I wouldn't apologize for that.
Right on.
I was wrong.
You're blessed, man.
And you throw a lot of truth bombs out there. Everybody says what you say ain't in the Bible. I read a lot of it in the Bible, and he's revealing more and more to me, and it's just amazing. If people, I've never heard the way you word it, to forgive,
yes,
love, don't hate,
yeah,
any anger or hate in your heart. You are exactly right. I felt a little anger coming there, and I stopped it.
Nice.
And I wouldn't forgive them for offending me, and it didn't even seem odd or out of the way or nothing.
Right on. They did you a favor when they offended you because it allowed you to see what's in you that you need to overcome.
He showed it to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing what you return.
That's right. Absolutely, man. Howard, amazing call, man. I appreciate this.
Yeah. I'll let your yes be yes and no be no.
Yeah.
Anything else is from deceiver. I like it when people ask you questions, you say no. Do you love white people? Yes. And then when they do all that hee-hawing around, that's Satan.
That's right. Hey, Howard, amazing.
The right way, you're amazing.
I'm blessed, man. Do you listen to thehakereport.com?
When I called him the other day.
He's on fire, huh?
Yeah, he's on fire. I don't get to watch-ins or call you as much as I used to because we working so much now.
Right.
Furniture business is booming. I talked to him about that a little bit yesterday.
Right on. Well, he's on fire. Howard, thank you for your call, man. Call me again, all right?
Yep.
All right, buddy. Bye. Amazing. Hake is on fire, folks. He is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Really. That's the guy with the good hair. Super Chats and D-Lives.
Super Chats.
Super Chats.
All right. Let's check out the Super Chats. We've got from D-Live, Leslie P. Jeterson, one of the greatest names of all time, with a diamond here, says, Hola.
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 Hola. Speaking of hola, it just reminded me. Y'all need to check out Samuel, the Mexican car boy, his on-the-street videos. He was out there protesting in support of Larry Elder and one Gavin Newsom recall. They are amazing. Nick, can they get his thing about going to Samuel the Mexican car wash? Can the folks watch Samuel on the street by going to Samuel the Mexican car wash boy, or do they need to go to... Okay, go to the Hood Christian Conservative. Amazing stuff. The Hood Christian Conservative. And I'm like, I want millennial men to start businesses, to return to the Father, to start businesses, to get involved, to speak up and not to be afraid. The world would be a better place, really. And so to see Samuel and these guys doing their own thing now, that's mind-blowing. It really is. So check it out. The Hood Christian Conservative. All right? Go ahead, buddy.
Leslie P. Jeterson follows up with another diamond and says, uniting the races with truth instead of, and he did not finish the phrase.
Thank you.
Thank you. PC is satanic with a Ninja Guinea from D-Live. Asks, Jesse, did you get the vaccine? And if not, will you?
I have not. No, I did not get it. And I have no plans of getting it. But we'll wait and see. You never know what tomorrow will bring. But no, I do not have it. I did not do it.
Adam Clark 95 with a diamond from D-Live says, shout out to the Fallen State producer. She's killing it.
Kelly is the Fallen State producer, and she is on fire. And speaking of the Fallen State, we have a brand new episode today at 12 noon. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Melina, why did you say yes to Destiny when he asked, would you marry him?
Because I love him.
Destiny, why did you ask Melina to marry you?
Because I love her too. I love how adventurous she is. She's fun to be around.
And I got him to go to the gym.
And will you obey him?
What does that mean?
Obey? Like, take my orders.
What's important to you, Melina?
Having fun.
Doing drugs?
Yeah.
You've slept with 50 men and women?
Yeah, probably. He's a slut as well.
Do you sleep with men and women?
Yep.
So, Destiny, what's your impression of Joe Biden at this point?
Doing a great job. American hero.
What do you think about Afghan, knowing that he left American citizens?
I don't think there are American citizens that are left there that can't get back. I don't know. I don't think that's the case.
If he's left one behind, is that the right thing to do?
It's never going to be perfect.
Is Destiny real? This is not our Destiny. It's amazing that any male would consider married a woman who slept with 50 men or women. Can you imagine what's up in there? I can't even. I'm just saying. That's the Fallen State today at noon, 12 noon Pacific time. Check it out. I want to tell you this. This is from, is it Helio? It look like Helio. Healio. Helio. Black pediatric patients. I want you to hear this. It was a study done, right? Black pediatric patients more likely to be restrained in the emergency department than white peers, this study found. So there was a study done by Yale. A research letter published by researchers from Yale showed a high incidence of black pediatric patients requiring to be restrained. The scope of the study spanned over 550,000 patients across 11 different emergency departments. The research concluded, so blacks pediatric patients have to be restrained more than any other race. And this study showed, according to the study, they proved it. And guess what the conclusion was? The reason for it. The pediatric patients were aged from 8 to 16. And the black ones had to be restrained more than any other races. And guess why? Guess why? You're right. Because of racism. The researchers concluded racial ethnic disparity in restraint usually likely reflect racism as a multiple level within, at multiple levels within and beyond emergency care services. So they have to restrain these black children because of racism. Now, if y'all believe that, and y'all believe blacks are suffering due to racism, you need help. Your mind is gone. This is due to lack of good parents. Anger is due to the lack of good parents. It has nothing. It's crazy that anyone. It's so crazy you will have to be on pot, drugs, alcohol, and whatever else you can find to believe that lie. Really. This is due to bad parenting, no good parents, angry mothers, and no good fathers. The paper found that black patients were almost twice as likely to be physical restrained compared with white patients. Amazing. Oh, it's racism. This is the lack of love from the black parents, folks. This is the nature of the mother. It got nothing to do with everything blame on the white man. And there are so many crazy people falling for it. What has happened? I do know already, but it's interesting. So here's, this is from TikTok. It's spiritual, they say, right? TikTok, a woman on TikTok is being praised for speaking out in defense of men and against feminism by telling men it's okay to express their feelings. Watch this.
You know what the problem is today? Men feel that they can't express themselves because you make it all about you. I'm talking about you females. They get called pussies if they cry or show any sort of emotion. So what do you expect from them? I find females tend to make shit all about them and they neglect their partner's feelings, especially men. This is why they keep it all inside. You need to give them a better, safer environment to thrive in, or it's gonna go to shit.
She means well. I think it sounds like she means well, but she still got it wrong. And I understand why women get it wrong like that, because that's how they feel. That's their mindset and their emotional state of being. And so they feel that way, and that's why they're telling men that they should be that way. Even though they're not happy, the women are not happy being that way, they're giving men the advice based on how they feel. Risha is a first-time caller out of Minnesota. Risha, express yourself.
Hi, Mr. Peterson. I feel so blessed just to talk to you.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. I just love you and the work that you're doing. You're such a man of God, and I can't tell you how much in such a short period of time you've changed my life.
It's amazing.
So thank you so much.
You're
yes,
welcome.
It is amazing.
How did you find the show?
Well, a couple of years ago, I'm not quite sure how it came about, but I was just looking at videos on YouTube, and I found The Fallen State. And at first it was quite entertaining, if nothing else.
Amazing.
So I kept
so
watching,
entertaining.
And now I've watched some of your episodes from your show in California. I've obviously been listening to your radio show, and I continue to watch The Fallen State. And now I've just started my journey in doing the silent prayer.
Right on.
So I'm really working on becoming a woman of God, and I have a young daughter who's about to be 10 months old, and I really want to raise her properly.
Right on.
So I know the only way I can do that is if I get myself together.
That's amazing. You're absolutely right. Let me ask, are you able to hold for me? I need to take a break.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on for me. We have another hour to go. When I come back, straight to the calls. I got to take a break. Hate could come in over the hate news. Not the fake news, but the hate news. Back in a moment. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.
Climate commies in Congress are undermining the search for truth as disinformation, and the DHS, Department of So-Called Homeland Security, is smearing Americans and scapegoating patriots over a Justice for J6 rally tomorrow. Honeypot? I don't know. And the mainstream media is, of course, attacking the Second Amendment in the name of mass shootings, and not all French workers, health workers, want the vax, so Macron is suspending them without pay. What a mess. This is the end of Hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Friday, September 17th, 2021 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Stay tuned for Hour 3. Jesse Lee will be right back. But first, Hake News, not fake news. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, thehakereport.com. By the way, The Fallen State premieres noon today Pacific time, I do believe. You did see a trailer of it at the beginning of the show. And, of course, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson every Sunday, 11 a.m. here at Bond in Los Angeles. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. TheFallenState.tv for the Fallen State stuff. The corrupt government is investigating supposedly corrupt businesses. Do you buy it? CNN reports that the House Oversight and Reform Committee is launching an investigation into the fossil fuel industry disinformation on the climate crisis. Oh, gosh. Recent reports have suggested the fossil fuel industry has participated in campaigns aimed at creating confusion about the cause of the climate crisis or actively sown distrust in science. What a laugh. Lawmakers plan to invite the heads of 6 oil companies and major lobbying groups to testify next month. The hearing will align with Congress's planned timetable to pass massive climate and clean energy investments as part of Biden's budget bill, as well as the UN Climate Conference in Glasgow. Is it Glasgow or Glasgow? Glasgow, Scotland, I think. Green is the new red. Commies. Smearing Americans, CNN reports that the Department of Homeland Security, which is a misnomer, has warned of potential violence stemming from a right-wing rally scheduled for tomorrow in Washington, D.C. The Justice for J6, January 6th, rally aims to support insurrectionists charged in the deadly January 6th Capitol riot. Deadly only for Trump supporters, by the way. Thanks, Muriel Bowser, and Capitol Police and feds. The Skim reports that the far-right protest, far-right, centrist, is expected to draw in hundreds of people, including, no doubt, feds, I bet, right? Don't go. About 600 people are facing political persecution, as you know, for wanting election integrity, and they went into the Capitol building. Ill-advised, right? All of a sudden, now the Capitol Police may get National Guard reinforcements tomorrow. Too little, too late, right? Trump was calling for that the first time, and it wouldn't have happened. Our real President Trump, who was impeached that second time for inciting the insurrection, all fake news, stands by those involved, by the way, saying our hearts and minds are with those unfairly facing charges. I don't know if he's endorsing the rally, tomorrow's rally, but he's standing with the people who have been falsely maligned and imprisoned. Blame guns for black violent crime. CNN says 343 mass shootings occurred in the U.S. in the 15 months between April of 2020 and July of 2021, according to the Gun Violence Archive. No such thing as gun violence. That means mass shootings actually increased during the months of the scam-epidemic. Well, because of the Black Lives Matter thing. Interesting that you leave that note out. Longevity of the white man. Tom Brady says that he could play in the NFL until age 50. He said, I think it's a yes. That's according to CNN. The Skim reports that a vax mandate in France. This week, about 3,000 health workers in France were suspended for not being vaccinated against the China/commie virus. Why would healthcare workers not want it? Don't they know about health? In July, President Emmanuel Macron, who married a school teacher, 25 years older than him, she met him when he was 15, I heard, gave healthcare workers roughly 2 months to get at least one dose or face suspension without pay. The rule will affect over 2.7 million people in France. I am James Hake, now into Jesse, our